Welcome to this series of online workshops on positive living skills, joy and focus for everyone. I am Dr. Maria Jose Ramirez, and today I am going to talk to you about having a positive perspective or learning how to think more positively. Having a positive perspective is a skill that empowers people to see the positives in themselves and the positive in others, believe in their own capacity and the capacity of others, to love good people and positive things in their life, to express their appreciation to others and embrace simple and positive experiences every day. What kind of things make you feel good or happy? To practice positive perspectives, I am bringing you a story called Treasure Hunting for Highlights. This is a story created by Terry Orlick, and you can find it on his book Positive Living Skills. So, take a comfortable position, close your eyes, and listen to this story.
Treasure hunting for highlights. Get yourself into a comfortable position. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out slowly. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out slowly. Close your eyes and let yourself relax. Continue to breathe easily and slowly, and just listen to my voice. I want to tell you a little story about filling a treasure box with happy things. These happy things are called highlights. I once knew a girl who was not very happy. She hardly ever smiled, and she said that most days were boring or sad or no fun. Some of the other kids called her Gloom because she was usually quite gloomy or grumpy. One day I asked her if she wanted to go on a treasure hunt for happy highlights. She said she didn't know what happy highlights were, but she once went on a treasure hunt for chocolate eggs and sparkly rocks that shined like gold. I told her that treasure hunting for highlights was different from anything she had ever done before. To hunt for highlights, you have to look for all the good things that you do or see or hear or taste or feel or learn in a day. She said she really wanted to go on a treasure hunt for happy highlights. So when she woke up the next day, before she got out of bed, she said to herself, "Today I am going to really keep my eyes and my ears and my mind wide open to find good things, to do good things, and to feel good things." Just after she got up, her mom came into her room and gave her a big hug. That was the first happy highlight she put into her treasure box that day. Before she left for school, she ate some pancakes with yummy syrup, which was delicious. That was her second happy highlight. When she walked out the door of her house, she saw a beautiful butterfly on a flower. That was the third happy highlight she put in her treasure box. At school, she learned something new about dolphins. She finished a painting, and she read a story to a little boy who is trying to learn to read. Those were happy highlights 4, 5, and 6. At recess, she played a skipping game with 2 other children in her class and laughed when they chased each other around. Those were happy highlights 7 and 8. When she went back into her classroom, she listened to an interesting story and answered some questions about the story. Highlights 9 and 10. When she left school, she walked together with a friendly girl in her class. Then they both waved goodbye. On her way home, she looked at some big old trees and saw the special color of their leaves. They looked really nice and they smelled good too. Highlights 11, 12, 13, and 14. When she got home, she played outside, then played inside. Then she had a cold glass of milk and 2 cookies. Happy highlights 15, 16, 17, and 18. And the day wasn't even over yet. At the end of the day, before she went to bed, Gloom thought about all the happy highlights she found that day to put in her treasure box. Just thinking about all those good things and sharing some of them with her family made her feel very proud and happy. The more Gloom looked for happy highlights, the more she found. And the more she found, the more she started to bloom, like a beautiful flower when the sun shines on it. Every day she collected highlights, and every day she grew a little taller, a little nicer, a little stronger, and a lot happier. From that day, when she went on her first treasure hunt for happy highlights, she always found something happy in each day. She always found happy things because she always looked. She always went on a happy highlight hunt, and she loved doing it. Nobody called her Gloom anymore. They all called her Bloom because she was blooming like a beautiful flower in the springtime when the sun shines on it. Bloom told me that highlight hunting is like going on a treasure hunt every day. The fun thing is that every day you can fill your treasure box with different things, happy things, good things, and nice feelings. You just have to look for the good things that happen each day. Bloom wanted me to tell you that happy highlights are little things that you can find each day, little things that make you feel good and make everyone else around you feel good. Why don't you go on a happy highlight hunt today and tomorrow and the next day? See how many treasures you can find.
What was the story about? What is a highlight? Highlights are positive experiences, connections, actions, or interactions that give us joy, quality, and meaning to our lives. They are available within simple daily experiences and come from embracing the simple positive experiences feelings and pursuits that make you and others feel good, happy, uplifted, or better in some way. What highlight did you have today? Now that you know what a highlight is, I want to introduce to you the 7 sources of highlights. These 7 sources are self-generated and are available to all human beings almost every day. So what does this mean? It's that you can have these 7 type of highlights every day. You just need to look for them or to generate them by yourself. So the first one I want to talk to you about is the human interaction. This is a pure connection with other human beings. It can be a smile, it can be a good feeling, or it can be like a laughter. Whatever makes you connect with another person. The second source of highlight is nature. It's a pure connection with the magnificence, power, tranquility, and positive energy of nature. It could be the beach, the ocean, the birds singing, like looking at the sunset, looking at the sunrise, the breeze, anything that helps you connect with nature. The third one is relaxation. Relaxation is a joyful moment of pure, uninterrupted silence that make you feel completely calm, relaxed, rested, and peaceful in your mind and body. It could be taking a bath, or breathing for some minutes, or just be silent and just be sitting in silence. It also can be reading a book, sleep or nap, or anything that helps you to relax. The next one is personal discoveries. This is when we create or construct something new, exciting or meaningful for us or for others. It can be like designing, creating, or making something that is special or has value. We also can discover something, a new way to do things, finding a new path, or growing ourselves by reflecting. Okay, it can be also doing some sort of acting, music, drawing, painting, singing, or dancing. Anything that helps us grow and discover things within ourselves. Then it comes the positive sensations. These positive sensations are anything that make us feel good. It could be like eating something very good that we like. It could be having a warm bath when we're cold, or like having a cold glass of water when we're really hot. Could be like a nice hug, petting our pets, our cats, or our dogs. That's a positive sensation too. Anything that makes our touch or taste feel good. It could be also something that we see that is pretty. Next, we have accomplishments. The accomplishment is something that we, as the word says, we accomplish, and is a feeling of achieving a personal goal that is important for us. It can be big or small. It can be as small as threading a needle, or it can be as big as getting a degree or finishing a book, or anything that makes you feel good, valued, important, or worthy. It Could be any goal that you set yourself to achieve and you achieved it. And the last one is play. It can be play, games, sports, or physical activity. And anything that involves our movement, which can bring a better sense of joy and excitement or well-being to our lives. Could be play with our pets, or play with that kid, or play with other significant others. Anything that makes us laugh or engage our bodies. So here are the 7 sources of highlights, and I want you to think, what type of highlight do you have more often? Do you often have more highlights related with nature or with human interaction, positive sensations? What are your highlights? And think about how can we populate and have other type of highlights. If I often find most of my highlights in nature and none in my human interaction or relaxation, find ways on how you can also enjoy nature but increase your relaxation or your human interactions. We want to have highlights in every aspect of the wheel. We don't want to have highlights in only one aspect. We want to have highlights everywhere. So one of your tasks is to find highlights for each aspect of the wheel. So the challenges. Now that you've understood what a highlight is, you saw how to find positive things. So now that you know what a highlight is and how to find them in your everyday, and you know that the highlights are self-generated, you don't need anything external to have highlights, you can make them yourself. I want you to complete the wheel of highlights that we just saw and find highlights for each aspect of the wheel. And if you are having trouble to finding a highlight in one aspect, I want you to create a highlight for that aspect. Another challenge that I have for you is to ask a loved one their 3 highlights of the day during a week. You will discover that this will generate other type of interactions with your significant others. Instead of just worrying about what's happening around the world or talking about what's negative, asking about their highlights will open up a new conversation, and I bet that you will discover things that you didn't know about the other person. And if you want to do this with a stranger or a person that you don't know that much, I also invite you to do this challenge, to ask another person, what are the 3 highlights? You will see how you connect more significantly with another person. And for a month, this is the 3rd challenge that I have for you, is to write in your journal 3 highlights that you had each day. This is important because when we, as the story says, when we start looking for highlights and we start writing them and noticing them, we will start to find more highlights and more highlights and more highlights. Writing them, it's important because it helps us to remember them, and it helps us to savor them again. Another aspect that in order to increase our happiness and to increase our perspective is to not only write, I saw like a nice blue bird, but just to expand on that idea, not to just write the 3 things and 3 highlights in 3 lines, but to describe our highlights, to extend it, to write a paragraph for each one of them. And the idea is that every day you write different highlights from the day before. We cannot write, for instance, if I saw a really nice bluebird outside my window and I see that bluebird every day, I can write that only one day. The next day I have to write another thing. If I want to write about the same bird, I have to write a different description about why that bird is a new highlight for me. So I have 3 challenges for you. Complete the wheel of highlights with 7 different highlights. Ask a loved one or strangers for their 3 highlights of their day for a week. And during a month, write in your journal 3 highlights that you had each day. This is the end of this workshop. I hope you enjoyed it and started to understand how you can have a more positive perspective by finding highlights every day. Please share with me your highlights and what you discovered asking others about theirs. Thank you for seeing this video, and I will see you in the next workshop.